Hey, what's up guys, and congratulations on getting your new Xcel system. If you're watching this video, most likely you've come to learn about how to set it up and what its capabilities really are, and there's a lot of them. So I'm going to try to show you as much as I can, but not give you so much information. This is something that you're going to learn over time, but I'm going to give you kind of the basics and show you how to set some stuff up. So the very first thing that I would want to know is how to hook your bands up. So with the system, the basic system, it comes with a 15-pound and a 30-pound band, and it comes with pairs of those. So what I do is right away is I'm going to put 115 up top and 115 on the bottom, 130 on top, and 130 on the bottom. So you have matching pairs. So when I first hook a band up, what I'm going to do is I like on the top hexagons, attachment points, is to hook the top ones up by going down onto it. One thing I'm going to get right off the bat is make sure that your clips always close. Just real briefly. So string across. Now we're going to hook on, facing with the hook down. Just hook onto that top portion. And then always just verify that the actual spring hook connected. So the bottom is the exact same thing. String it across, but on the bottom I like to go from the bottom with the hook facing up and clip onto the bottom. This bottom flat part here. And then now we'll have matching bands and matching resistance both top and bottom. So when you actually want to have different types of resistance, there's a lot of things that you can do to change the resistance, and one of them would be if you're someone that's really strong and you want some really strong resistance and you hook up two bands to this, what you can do is actually, you need more resistance, you can take one of the bands from here and put it up top and just increase the resistance. So a 15 and a 30, if for some reason you need more resistance, you can take another, let's say 15 from down there and put it up here and now increase that resistance. So the other way that you can do that, if you got the upgraded band package, then you're going to have more different types of resistance. So there should be a 15, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So now you can kind of stack as many as you want up here, and then you can just choose. So when you're picking your resistance, these center D-rings, this is how you choose your resistance. So this one is 15 pounds, and I just connect it to that center D-ring. Sometimes what you're going to have to do is when you first get it is now get it centered. So centered within the sleeve itself, so you might have to the best way to do it is to pull on it and stretch that actual sleeve out. And then we're just going to work to get it in the middle, so when you pull something, it's going to pull directly to the center. If you pull it, say you're doing a tricep extension, and you pull it up, 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 and it goes to the side, then it's just not centered. So you're just going to work to get it centered, pull it centered, move it around, and once you got it, you got it. So that's as far as now changing the resistance. If you have a 40, so you can put a 15, a 30, a 20, a 40, and this is where you just got to kind of play with it and learn, and over time you're going to know exactly what bands you need for what exercises. So in the beginning, obviously it's something new, just keep working on it, and like I said, before you know it, you're going to understand what bands you need for what exercise. So learning how the pulley system itself works or disconnects and moves, that's pretty simple. And there's a pin that you use when you are installing. That just pops out. You got to push the button. Push the button. You're going to take it out. So if we want to do an exercise that's down low, we're just going to put this pulley down underneath, put it in. Make sure the holes are even, and then you're just going to take it off here. You got to take the whole hook off, and then you're just going to move it to the top. If you know your bands and you know you're only going to need one, then you just hook it to one. If you want more resistance, you did the first set and it was too easy, take it off, hook it through the back one and then through the front one. And now you have double the resistance or just more resistance anyways. So with our different handles, so this is the standard handle. This is actually a different accessory piece that comes with it, but this is one that you can purchase. It comes with the flat stock, and most bars don't do this, so you have a pretty cool bar where you can switch out these accessories. Those are in our store, but this has a threaded rod. So this can actually come out, and you can actually use these as nunchucks. So you can hook them up to the bands. There's eye bolts that you can buy just at a Home Depot that are 1/2 inch 13 thread, and you can hook up the eye bolt right to this and attach like actual nunchucks. So that's just one option that you can do, but you're just going to take this and thread it in, just so you know that your handle actually comes apart. That way you can actually change some of the accessories out. So hooking up a handle, I mean, this is pretty obvious. Just going to bring it through, hook it, and then most often you're going to check the resistance and see if that's right for you to start your sets. One of the things that you can do, I'll lighten this up a bit. This is just one way to change the resistance. Okay, well this is too easy. All I'm going to do is actually back up and change the resistance that way. This pulley swivels, so whatever direction you're going to be facing, just turn it towards that way. That way, if you maybe have two people working out on this, you can turn it to the side and be over here while you have someone else maybe attaching a band up over here doing something like rotation. So this does move around, but you can back up, get that tension real hard, and then as you fatigue, you can just walk forward and it gets easier, and it's like a built-in superset. So you can see hooking up the handles is super easy, changing the pulley. If we want to go back up top, it's just a matter of pulling this out, leave it, hook it up here, pin it, and then we'll just attach this, and then we're just going to move it on down, and hook up here. And now we have an upper pulley for our upper pulley movement. Same thing, if you want to really increase that resistance, just step back. And then as it gets more difficult, you can just move in, change your grips. Maybe on the next set you want to increase the resistance, and we're just adding that band. Now there's another band. Change the resistance. Now it's much more difficult. So it's pretty simple. It's very quick to move things around. Now, one of the other attachment points is these eye hooks. So you barely have to undo it. You just loosen it. You can slide them to wherever. So if you're doing a movement that you want to have a different angle, you want to increase the angle, then you can put it on there and create a custom angle depending on how tall you are. If you're taller, you just move it up higher. If you want it out wide where you have to pull in, then it's up higher. If you want it narrow, so you have to pull out and away, then you would just move this inward. So now, here's another way that you can change the resistance. Let's say we want to have a little more slack. in the line, so we could do something like maybe a front raise. Always make sure these are tight. Now what we did is we just changed the point at which this band is going across. Now, actually, since I have the pulley up there, I'm just going to have to do it down here, but it's just the same thing, no matter point. So, just need another band. If I take the band, now stretch this across, and then I hook it up here. Now I'm going to have a little slack in this pulley before the resistance starts. So that's just a quick way to give yourself a little slack. So if this was all flipped and I connected here and the pulley was down there and I created some slack, I could pull this through and then do front raises. Otherwise, if it's all the way down, you might not quite get up to the top. But I do have an extension piece, which I got to show you that next. So certain exercises, just like I just demonstrated, maybe you're going to need a little more range. So that's what we did here. I'm going to show you a different way to create that range. And that's with the extension piece that comes with it. That's what this chain is for. This is just to extend it a bit. And I'm just going to show you how this would work. So let's try to do a front raise. So we're going to get real close. It is real difficult. It's a strong band, but I can only get to about here. But I want to go higher than that to go through the full range of motion. So all I'm doing is taking one of these extra clips that come with it. I'm hooking that right to the bottom of the chain, the end of the chain, and then depending on how long your arms are, how far you want to be able to reach up, you just hook the other hook into it. And you can go anywhere within this chain to create more or less length. Re-hook it up. And now I have the appropriate amount of range to go all the way through the movement. Now it's just about picking the right band for the movement that I'm doing. So this chain will be able to use in any situation. You can't quite get far enough into a range of motion. So the next thing is, because we have so many different attachment points, we can hook on to these, and now we can do rotations, different things that you can do with the standard band with the standard connection. But we didn't want to be limited to that. So even better is we created something that does a center pull from the band. That's a D-ring. And now we just take a hook and a handle, and now we have a center pull, which most bands don't have. So now I doubled that resistance by doubling up this band instead of having it fully lengthened with the handle on the end. So there's different ways to connect these, in different areas to connect these depending on the exercise that you're trying to do. So connect it here, make sure that's always tight. Do a double connection. Now I want to do a rotation that's at the center line. So this is the angle that I want. Now I can pull from that specific angle. If I have someone's taller, or I just want to do more of a wood chop, or more of a scoop down low, then you would just use one of the lower ones. So now the angle is completely different. Going here. So next we have our ankle fittings. These are pretty simple. It's just going to be wrap around your foot, pass these through, and then connect. So these are going to be wrapped right around your leg. Different movements. You'll have it in the front of your leg or the back, off to the side. So these are pretty obvious. Again, if you need that chain to connect, you can put this here, and now you have a little more distance. You can stand away from the wall, but you just connect the hook. Just connect the hook to the eye hook here, and then let's say for kickbacks, you just put it on here, and you're able to do a bunch of different leg exercises. The rope, this one's pretty obvious. This one you could do a ton of different exercises. So again, it's going to be hooking it up just through the hook. And we can do all kinds of different exercises. Bicep curls with a neutral grip. Rows. If the pulley was flipped, you can do tricep extensions. Put it behind your back. So there's going to be lots of videos with built-in timers for exercising that you get to follow along with different trainers. That's pretty cool. And then we'll just have basic how-to videos as far as specific movement, so all the little details about how to do that movement correctly. And that library will be built as we go, because we are at this time a pretty new business, so we're building that library currently. So depending on when you watch this, it may be different. There may be a lot more stuff, or will be a lot more stuff. And then lastly, we have your double handles. And these, so if we have multiple bands, these are going to be for a lot of different movements. And again, you just follow some of the exercise videos, or you're just coming up with your own stuff if you have a lot of experience exercising. So you'll be able to use your imagination a ton on this. So whether you want to do it this way, try to make sure they're even. And here's just an example of one of the movements that you can do with the multiple handles. But for now, installation, hopefully that went easy for you. And then general use, again, this is some of the basics, but maybe following along with some of the how-to videos, whether it be muscle building, watching some of those first will help give you some general ideas about how to use this and how it can function and give you lots of ideas. So hopefully this is enough for you guys and it'll get you going. And I'm really excited that you actually got the Xcel system and starting your fitness journey or continuing your fitness journey. So thanks for watching.